Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome back. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with the second of this week's video reviews. And just so if in case you're interested, this will be my 500th video. So welcome. Welcome all the viewers, new ones and subscribers alike. So where are we? I think for the first time we're in Hawaii. And this is Lihue Airport in Hawaii, Papa Hotel Lima, India. This is a payware scenery by Northern Sky Studio, and you're looking at version 1, the release version for Flight Sim 2020. Download comes in at 3.23 gig and it installs at 6.35 gig, so it's a reasonably substantial download here. It's currently available from both SimMarket and Orbix, and I give you the SimMarket price. There's not a lot of difference between the two, to be honest. SimMarket price €20.16, which equates to roughly $21.80 US, or £17.04 UK. As ever, US and UK prices are estimates taken from the euro, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which may of course vary depending on where you are when you make your purchase. I've lowered the lighting to about 5 PM local time. It's late mid-July 2024. Which I think gives it quite a nice little overview of the airport here. So let's look at features now. So features, we have the most detailed replica of airport buildings and vehicles, custom surroundings, all materials created with full PBR texturing, shading and occlusion texture baking effects on all airport buildings, high resolution building textures, use of native highly efficient GITF models. Not sure what GITF means. Maybe somebody in the comments could just let me know what that means. We have a custom ortho photo for the airport and the surrounding area. And you can see from these images here that the airport fits quite nicely into the surrounding terrain, the mountains in the distance. This is very, very much Hawaii as you look at it. Very nice indeed. So that was your features. Let's look at some history of this airport. So history. Lihue Airport, Papa Hotel Lima, India, is a state-owned, public-use airport operated by the Hawaii Department of Transportation. It is located in the Lihue Consensus Designated Place, or CDP, on the southeast coast of the island of Kauai, in Kauai County, Hawaii, United States. Just over 2.2 miles east of the center of the consensus designated place. The airport does not serve as a hub for any airline carrier. However, numerous inter-island flights are available on Hawaiian Airlines, and Southwest Airlines and major US and Canadian carriers operate flights on narrow-body aircraft to major cities in Western North America. The airport is mostly unwalled and open air, and the check-in is completely outside. The airport is the primary gateway to the island of Kauai for visitors and has several rental car facilities as well. In the 12 months up to August 2022, the airport had over 109,000 aircraft operations, an average of 300 per day. These consisted of 61% air taxi, 28% scheduled commercial jet transport, 10% general aviation and 1% military. At the time, there were some 46 aircraft based at this airport. On a typical day, certain gates are used for airlines to arrive and depart from the airport. Gates 9 to 10 are mostly used by United Airlines, flying the Boeing 737-800 and 737-900ER aircraft, along with occasionally a Boeing 757-200. Alaska Airlines also use Gate 9 on occasion with their Boeing 737 aircraft. Gates 7 to 8 are mostly used by Delta Airlines using the Airbus A321neo. Southwest Airlines and WestJet also use these gates. Hawaiian Airlines operates both 717 and Airbus A321 aircraft using gates 3 to 4 and 5 to 6 for their inter-island and US mainland flights. American Airlines mostly use gate 3 and 4 with their Airbus A321 flying in and out of Lihue. All gate areas are air-conditioned. Hawaiian Airlines operates one premier lounge at the airport open to first-class travellers. Currently, some 7 airlines operate into and out of Lihue, with top destinations including San Diego, Portland, Los Angeles, San Francisco and Phoenix. Perhaps the busiest route is to Honolulu, with some 615,000 passengers flying to this location. The Kauai bus route 100/200 connects the airport to downtown Lihue. So there you go, that's some history for you. As you can see from this shot, the scenery is well detailed and quite extensive. And in many cases, it's hard to tell what is part of their scenery product and what is part of the default. But what you end up with is what it looks pretty impressive. It really does. So that was history. Let's have a look at the runways available here now. Okay, runways at Lihue Airport. Lihue Airport operates 2 main runways. Runway 3517 measures 6,500 feet or 1,981 meters. Runway 2103 also comes in at 6,500 feet or 1,981 meters. Both runways are constructed from asphalt and fully grooved. The airport lies at an elevation of 152 feet or 46 meters and sits within the GMT UTC -10 hours time zone. Now, Hawaii does not observe daylight saving time or DST, and since the UK has moved forward 1 hour for the summer, Lihue Airport is currently 11 hours behind the UK. So runway 35, and we're looking down the throat of it now, features high intensity runway lighting, medium intensity approach lighting system with runway alignment indicator lights, and precision approach path indicators on the left side. So here you can see we've got the intensity runway lighting, we've got PAPIs on the left, here's the approach lighting with flashing lights just as it should be. You also have runway end identifier lights which are not listed on the charts, but they're here in the scenery. Again, not a problem for me. Anything you add here to make it impressive or to add to the ability to make a safe landing is good by me. The reason I've come back so far is also so you can see this lighthouse here, something you need to watch for on the approach to this runway. Speaking of approaches, the approach is available for runway 35. You have an instrument landing system, RNAV GPS Y approach option, an RNAV RNPZ approach option. You also have a VOR or TACAN approach option, and the VOR is actually here just to the left of the runway. So that was it for runway 35, all pretty impressive. Let's go up the other end, runway 17. So here we are on the approach to runway 17, the other end of this runway, which again features high intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lighting system, and precision approach path indicators on the left side of the runway. So on this occasion we do have the runway end identifier lights listed on the charts, and they're here in the scenery, and the PAPIs on the left and the lighting system for the runway as per. So that's perfectly okay. Approaches available, well, you only have an RNAV GPS approach option available at this end of the runway. So let's have a look at runway 21. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 21, which features medium intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lighting system, and precision approach path indicator on the left side. Now here you have the green lights either side of the runway threshold. So I suspect this is a slightly different version of the runway end identifier lighting system. But again, you have the PAPIs on the left and no approach lighting as per the chart, and you've got this slight extended threshold here too, and you've got the medium intensity lighting here. So runway 21 approaches available here. You have RNAV GPS Y approach option, RNAV RNPZ approach option, and VOR or TACAN approach option too. No ILS here. Lastly, let's pop up the other end and have a look at runway 03. So here we are looking at runway 03, and we have medium intensity runway lighting, runway end identifier lighting system, and it looks like they're the standard ones here. And again, precision approach path indicators on the left side. So this is all pretty much correct. Runway 03 approaches, well, there are no published approaches for this runway, so I would suspect it's basically a visual approach only. Okay, so that does it for looking at the 4 runway options. Let's go and have a look at the Jetway now and test that. Okay, Jetways, so here we are on stand 6, and the first thing to notice, we spawn straight from the menu and we're not on one of the 2 markings, which actually aren't marked in terms of aircraft types. So that's the first thing to notice, but now we'll see whether or not the Jetway connects properly. Okay, first thing to do, I think we'll connect the tug. Okay, so there we are, the tug's connected, we've got the parking brake set. Let's connect the Jetway, see how it looks. So the wheels turn correctly, which is good. Motion's pretty reasonable too. It's not slow, it's not fast. And let's see, the wheels are going into the concrete, but there we go. It's gone right through the skin of the aircraft. That's a pity. Let's have a look and see close up. So from this angle, the connection looks good. It looks quite close, and yeah, it looks fair enough. But of course, we know it's gone right through the skin. Let's look from the other side. Okay, again, the connection with the rubber looks pretty good, although there's a slight gap there at the bottom. Let's go inside the hood, into the doorway area itself, and see how much room there is. Okay, so here's inside the doorway, and as you can see, because the hood and the connection has gone right through the skin of the aircraft, I mean, it's up close, which is obviously what you want, but it's gone so close that there's actually no room for the door to open. Here's the front of the doorway, as it were, and on the Jetway, and there really is no way for the door to swing open. We'll open the door anyway. So there's the open door. As you can see, it's gone right into the side of the Jetway hood, which isn't very helpful at all. But if we go inside the aircraft and look out, there you can see how close the doorway actually is. There really is no room at all for the main aircraft door to swing out. So I think really the parking lines here are going to have to be aligned a little bit further to the right, which would make it easier rather than having to reconfigure the Jetways, so to speak. And yeah, there it is. That's what I think you need to do. Or as a pilot, when you park up, you're going to need to park slightly right of the center lines, and maybe that might work. So there we are outside, and there of course you can see the aircraft door poking out through the side of the hood. This is a real pity. I think the parking center line here needs to be adjusted a bit this way, rather than rejigging the Jetway, and would make it easier, I think, from a developer point of view, but that's just my thoughts. This park safe area, which is an area which nobody should park in because it's the Jetway movement area, this should be red, not yellow. But there you go, that's it. Let's remove the Jetway. Once again, the hood springs back. There's a slight delay. But you see the Jetway itself, the Jetway motion and the way it looks, it's not bad at all. It's nicely weathered, you've got the wheels moving correctly. And there it goes, well clear into the safe area. Yeah, fine, no problem at all with that. So there you are, that was the Jetway test. So let's get down to the airport proper now and do a really good tour of it and see what it looks like. Okay, so we start the main tour of Lihue Airport here on Hawaii, but before we do, just a couple of open shots here around the airport to show you what's about. And we've got cruise ships here, various other ships and boats here, and the harbour quite nicely detailed with buildings. Again, I'm not sure how much of this is part of the project. I suspect some of it is, because it's a large install, it's over 6 gigabytes. But also some of it must be local default terrain, and I've got all of the city add-ons and the world updates installed. So this looks pretty nice. So there's another open shot, and there you can see the airport up towards the right hand side. So what we'll do now is we'll come down a little bit lower, and we'll head from this airport, we'll head up towards from this point, we will head up towards the airport and have a look. So there you can see the fence line below, and here we are as we approach the airport itself proper. We've got a bit of juddering here as well. I don't really know why that is. We'll come back the other way in a minute and have a look. But as you can see, lots of detail. Quite a lot to see here. As we come out to the very end here. So let's take a slow tour back the other way. There you can see you've got a fuel farm down below, various other buildings, lots of little solar panels. There's the main fuel farm. That looks like the control tower there. We'll look at that in a minute. But it looks pleasant. It does. It really does. So slow a little bit more. There you can see the solar panels. Well, the detail looks nice. Now as we get close, this is the area we had the stuttering on the way in. And it would appear that since we've already gone over it, now it's cached to some extent. And it's not too bad, but let's have a look. Can't see much in the way of people, sort of airport staff or anything like that. But the detail itself is lovely. Excellent. Lots of ramp clutter. This is the cargo area, I should think. As usual, palm trees, as you would expect. I do love palm trees. So there's been a bit of terraforming as well. Now we got quite a bit of stuttering here as we approach this main terminal area. Let's see what happens. Lots of clutter, all of which looks really good. No complaints about the airport, the way the airport looks. This ramp area looks a bit default and a bit bright, unfortunately, and the safety areas, which should be red, unfortunately are yellow. I'd be surprised if that was the way it was at the real airport, but who knows, I might be wrong. Normally these safety areas are marked in red. Let's come up a little bit. We've got an interior model there, I think. As you can see, the stuttering is kind of gone now that we've already gone past this. It's in memory to some extent, and we haven't got any stuttering this time round. But the ramp area looks pretty impressive. And again, lots of clutter. There's the airport fence line. And you've got this area here as well. So we just go across the road, or across the fence line and this road, and have a look at this building here very quickly. No, very nice. All very basic and very delicate, but no problem at all. Animated flags over there too. So let's head over Landside now and have a look. I do love these foliage, palm trees and everything. It does look really good. So the car park looks impressive. And here's Landside. And we got a couple of people, which is nice. And we've got traffic lights. And this is impressive. There you've got electronic check-in devices there. It's very nice. Very impressive. And you've got cockatoo there, and they're animated as well. That I think is the first. I've not seen that before. So there you go. I thought we'd have a close look at them before we move on. Do not feed the chickens. Very nice. And there, as we move on, as you can see, the same nice situation is repeated here, landside. Yeah, you know, it's really good to have a few people about. It just brings the airport to life a bit. Even if they're static, it just brings it to life. So ladies sitting down there, a couple of cars parked here. All looks very nice indeed. Yeah, it's great. It's a very pleasant little airport. Now here we've got a dip in the terrain, which to be honest looks like it's been coped with here. It's very nice, very good. Car parks look good, the cars are reasonable quality too. And over here you've got these other little properties and things, and we've got people out here too. This is the helicopter base by the looks of it. You've got helicopter pads, and there in the distance you've got helicopters too. And as I've said, nice to see people sitting under the open air areas there waiting for their helicopters. If you are into helicopters, this could be a fun place to start your flying from, to go and have a look at the rest of the island. The ground markings are good, and here we've got helicopter models, and they're really good quality as well. And there you've got people in the helicopter base waiting. And there's an overview looking towards the other end of the area here. You've got the fuel farm there and various other bits of airside bits and pieces, lots of little things to explore here. I must say I'm really pleased to see people around. So another quick pass landside, this time to look at the car parks and the various other associated bits and pieces here. And as you can see, more has been done here. So quite a bit to see and explore here at the airport landside, which has been nicely done. Very pleasant little scenery. And yeah, to some extent it goes on as well. Things that have been placed outside. And as I said, it's hard to tell what's default and what's been added. Really nice building model there. So let's get down to the ramp and have a close look at the parking area where we're parked. So here we are, stand 6. Here's my PMDG Boeing 737-800 parked on stand 6. As I said, we haven't spawned directly onto a parking spot, and the ground parking spots are not marked in any way for different aircraft, so it's kind of difficult to know where to sort of stop. I mean, here for example, the rear of my aircraft is just about behind the line here. It's not going to infringe the road, but it's all a bit tight here really. These safety areas should be red, they're not yellow. In most cases, most airports around the world, they should be red, and you don't park in them because of the moving jetway. The concrete area here could have been done better. It looks very bland and brash and bright. I mean, it's acceptable, it's okay. It actually might look better during the dusk hours, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. But as you can see, parking's not going to be a problem really. It's nice. You've got various gates to choose from, as discussed in the history area. So the terminal itself looks pretty good. It's nicely detailed. And here you can see an engineer down there to the left, and we've got people inside the terminal. Let's go have a quick look. So here you've got this little bar come restaurant here, and you've got the fan there keeping everybody cool. And there, as we look down airside, you can see a couple of people, various tables and chairs. Here's the other end. It's great. It's very pleasant. Very pleasant indeed. And there you can see departure boards and various bits and pieces. So here's the main lounge itself. And there we've got an animated lady serving there too. And that's a really nice scene. Very, very nice indeed. So let's take a little tour. As you can see, various people, some of them animated, beautifully modelled inside here, right down to the carpet, and the images on the wall there. It's very, very nice. And as you can see, the whole thing goes on forever. It's just great. We've got shops there that are closed at the moment. Very nicely done. And we're into Starbucks coffee. There's the security check. And again, it's been nicely modelled and it's been fully done as well. This is what I like to see. You know, a flight simulator gives us as option. Yeah, you know, this is what can be done. Can't wait to see what's going to happen in Flight Sim 2024. So as you can see, here's Airside. All looks perfectly okay. Nice to see some development inside the terminal. In fact, they've done a nice job inside. They really have gone to town a bit. Security areas fully modelled with people, animated and static people, both airside and landside. The chickens out there are a nice touch as well. So that was daytime. Let's bring the light down now to dusk and see what the lighting does. Okay, 6:25 local time in the evening. As you can see, the sun's all but gone. Lighting came on about 4 minutes ago, and it looks quite pleasant. And to be honest, the ramp area looks a lot better at dusk than it does during the daytime. Here you've got blue airfield edge lights. Can't see any green centerline lights, but as you can see, you've got good signage into the grass area here, so you should be okay. So there you can see both the passenger ramp and the cargo ramp to the right hand side there. Nice to see some of the vehicles there with headlights that actually shine onto the ground. There's a lot to like about this product. So here we are, just looking at some of the taxiway signage. As suspected, no green centerline lights, but you've got the blue airfield edge lights and you've got taxiway signs. Here's one of the entrances to the runway. You've got the signage on the left. The one on the right is missing. There should be two of these, one either side of the runway. But again, I haven't been to this place, so I don't know if that's how it exists at the real world here. But as you can see, all in all, it looks pretty good. It really does. So let's have a little tour of the airside ramp. And as you can see, it looks quite nice. And we can see into the airside departure area, which is also partially lit. It's all very subtle, but actually really well done, to be honest. Like many airports, this airport comes to life a little bit more in the darkness hours with some really good lighting, and again we've got it here. It's very nice indeed. And as you can see, the departure lounge and the departure areas extend all the way down, and you've still got people at the very end of it there too. Airfield gates, lights coming pretty much from the right correct light sources. And here's the cargo apron. Again, you've got adequate lighting here for you cargo fellows that want to just come into Lihue. And some nice subtle lighting down there too, and one or two animated figures. Very nice. So let's check out the control tower. Here we are from the outside, and it looks like we've got some development here, so let's go and have a look. And indeed we have. Oh, it looks great, but once again the only thing that's missing are the controllers. Guys, why go to this length and make such a beautiful modelled internal of the tower and not put any controllers in here? I can't get my head around it. But no, that's the only criticism really. I mean, it looks great, but no controllers. So here's the airside section of the farther part of the cargo apron. Lots of signage here. And once again, more ramp, buildings, bits and pieces, a helicopter down there, and a couple of private jets. Very pleasant. So from the jet centre there to the left, let's start a landside tour and have a look. So there are the jet centre to the left. As you can see, there's some lighting. It's quite subtle in places. There's the fuel farm with the towers all lit up. And it all looks quite reasonable. Helicopter base to the right. There we've got the helicopter building. Street lamps. Thankfully no asobo globes that I can see. There you've got the back end of the cargo facility. And as you can see, there's intermediate lighting here and there to light various parts. So here we come landside of the main terminal area. Just come down a little bit. And there you can see it's all pretty nice. Done a nice job on this part. Even down to those little hanging lamps. Very, very nice indeed. It really does look very nice. And our chickens are still there. And there you've got various people that check in. It's lovely. Certainly this part looks really good. I mean, they've made good use of what Flight Simulator 2020 has to offer. And just a little look over here. It's very nice. It is really nice. Okay, so a couple of quick shots landside here just to show you what it looks like. Here you've got arrivals, the baggage carousels, no baggage and they're not turning, but again beautifully crafted. So a little look at check-in there, and you've got the automatic check-in machines there too. And there you've got the X-ray machines where your baggage gets checked in or get examined when you come in. And nice to see a check-in agent there with a line of passengers. It all looks really impressive. And a little slow tour down here. And it looks great, no complaints, it's very, very nice. It's beautifully done. So as you can see, it's almost night time now, so let's bring it right down to night time and have a look and see how the ramp looks. Okay, so 10 PM local time at night, and as you can see, the darkness is upon us. And the ramp area is actually not bad, it's quite nicely lit there. There we're looking to the threshold of one of the runway ends, and you can see blue airfield edge lights. You will need your nose gear light to help you taxi around at night time. And in the other direction there's the cargo ramp and the other end of the runway. So here's the control tower, which I'm really surprised is not very well lit. I wonder what it looks like from the other side. So still no building lighting, which is, I'm quite surprised the tower's not lit in any way at all. Okay, you've got the red lights, the mandatory red lights on top. But the tower building itself has no lighting. You can see the screens inside. In fact, let's go in. So here we are inside the tower, and you can see the screens and the controls and stuff all nicely done. Unfortunately, no people and no internal lighting above the ceiling. However, there you go. I mean, they've done a wonderful job on Landside and in the terminal. It looks wonderful. You have everything you need as a pilot, airside, but it's not as detailed as Landside, which surprises me a little. So a quick airside tour of the main ramp, which is what's important. So a couple of little stutters, but to be honest, nothing really to write home about. The down lighting, the lighting generally looks great. It really does. And the ramp there looks a lot better at dusk and night time than it does during the day. During the day it looks very bland and white. So there we go, there's a quick tour of airside at night time. Not an awful lot of difference Landside, I should imagine, so I don't want to waste time on that. If I'm in the right position, let's bring the dawn up and see what that looks like. Okay, so 5:10 in the morning and the sun's coming up behind us, and you've got this really nice red glow on all the buildings down there, which in my opinion looks great. It's very, very nice to see. There's runway 03 threshold in the distance there. And there's the cargo area to the left, runway 21, and the sun coming up. All really nice. Okay, 6 AM local time, and time to wrap up this review, give you my thoughts. Do I like it? Yes, I do. It's another really nicely done airport. Interestingly here that they seem to have done more with the terminal interior and landside than they have with airside, which is what the aircraft need. I don't say that sort of lightly. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with airside. Everything you need when you land here and park up as a pilot with your aircraft, and if that's all you're interested in, it's all there. It's just, it would appear my thoughts are that Landside looks more detailed and I mean, better is probably the wrong word. Landside looks more detailed and has had more work done than Airside has. As you can see, as we get to the brighter day, during the sun comes up as it gets higher, this becomes almost whitewashed. Give it at midday, 12 o'clock, which is when we started this video. This didn't look really very good at all, but as the light gets lower, it looks better and better. Parking area is okay. There are no markings on the ground for the aircraft types. That may be the case at the real airport, I don't know. Maybe somebody who works here who knows this airport can tell me how accurate Airside is here in terms of ground markings. And as I've seen, we spawn directly from the menu, and the position is okay, but the jetways tend to cut right through the aircraft, which is not really very good, unfortunately. I mean, it'll manage. It just means you need to be careful, I think, where you park. And that probably needs some attention, but the rest of it looks quite good. But when you go inside the terminal Landside, it was beautiful. I mean, the little chickens outside Landside are a lovely touch. Control tower could do with a little bit of work. We need a couple of controllers, and you could do with some ambient lighting at dusk and night time, because it is a major feature of an airport, and yet you can't see it during the dusk hours and at night time, although you can see in through the interior. So probably that's all that needs attention. But no, it's a lovely airport. Is it worth the price? €21, $22? Probably just about. There's a lot of work here. A lot's been done to it. Some real complaints about that. And again, when you look at the level of detail and the amount of work that's gone into it, and you balance that against the price, remember this is over 6 gigs download. Yeah, it's probably about right. It's the sort of airport that's ripe for a sale. I mean, in the near future it could come up in the sales so you can get it a bit cheaper. But no, it's, you know, no real complaints. It's a lovely airport. It's been beautifully modelled and textured. Fits in with the default scenery very well. It could be a nice place to fly into. Take the 777 out from Los Angeles. Could be a lovely trip here. And it's great. They've made a really big effort, and you know, it's really good. Really, no problems about it at all. I think the jetway positioning and animation needs attention. It could do with sorting out this airside tarmac, maybe to something a bit better. Again, I haven't been here, and I can't seem to do very much research as to what the apron looks like in terms of the concrete, so I don't know how realistic this is. But yeah, if they could sort out the jetways cutting through the aircraft, and maybe have a second look at the ramp texture, and I'd like to see controllers in the control tower and some ambient lighting for the control tower during dusk and darkness. It's a major feature on the airport, and not good that you can't see it when the sun goes down. But really, those are my only little criticisms, and they're more niggles than anything else, really. It's great. It's I can recommend it. It's a nice airport if you want something and somewhere different. And for you helicopter pilots, it's a nice base to start off on and go and explore the island. So there you go, folks. Lihue Airport in Hawaii, Papa Hotel Lima, India. Payware scenery by Northern Sky Studio. This is version 1, the release version, for the PC version of Flight Sim 2020. Downloads at 3.23 gigabytes and installs at 6.35 gigs. So it's got a substantial installation. It's available from both SimMarket and the Orbix website. Give you the SimMarket price, €20.16, which equates to roughly $21.80 US, or £17.04 UK. As ever, US and UK prices are estimates taken from the euro, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on your location when you buy it. Nice airport. Nothing wrong really with it at all. Quite happy to recommend it. Price is about right. Loads of work's been done. A couple of things that I would like to see altered or improved. But nonetheless, it's another nice featured airport in a place where we haven't got too many. Any builds have done Honolulu, I think they have, and there are one or two freeware ones out. But this is probably one of the first major ones I've seen for Hawaii. Very nice indeed. So thank you for joining me, folks. If you've been on the fence about buying this one or not, I hope this really helps. There is a lot to see here. A great starting place to explore by helicopter should you wish to, and yet another interesting destination to fly into. So thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for watching me. Once again, thanks to those people who bought me copies and support the channel. I'm gradually increasing, getting up to 1,300 subscribers now. Thank you very much. It really helps. This is my attempt to give something back to the community that's given me flying enjoyment for so many years. And yeah, there you go, folks. I will see you next week in the next video. I hope to maybe try and get one out as well before the end of the week. And yeah, all the best. Thank you very much for joining me. You take care. I'll see you in the next video. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, saying bye for now.